Hey everyone, this is your host Brian, and welcome to episode 25. Today's topic, birthdays. We're coming up on America's birthday, my birthday, but most importantly, OJ Simpson's birthday on July 9th. On that very same day, the Ford Motor Company will be revealing the 6th generation Ford Bronco. Will the Juice buy one? Will he recreate his famous June 17th car chase? Will I ever stop talking about retired football players that allegedly committed murder? Find out about all that and more on this week's episode of the Pause Button Podcast.
You keep saying retired football players, but you're just talking about one retired football player.
Also, change it up for next time.
I've been thinking about this for like 2 weeks since we recorded the last episode. When you said that OJ's nickname was OJ, why didn't you just say OJ's nickname was Juice? Because I think that was another nickname you had.
It was.
Yeah,
definitely.
It would have worked better.
Did you watch that show with Cuba Gooding Jr. playing OJ?
No.
I can't remember the name of the actor, but Ross from Friends plays like his lawyer.
David Schwimmer,
yeah, he's like, Juice, just all the time. He keeps calling him Juice every second.
Yeah, I heard about people
really
complaining about that.
It's probably realistic, kind of sleazy, over the top lawyer appealing to him.
Yeah.
But man, is it kind of annoying, but also it eventually rounds out to just being straight up funny to me.
Yeah.
I could see that. I could definitely see that.
Moldy, who's your second favorite football player accused of murder?
Isn't that that guy who had the Netflix special?
Come on.
Aaron Hernandez?
There you go.
That's all right. There we go.
Yeah,
I was like, he could definitely name at least one other person because of Netflix.
At least.
Yeah. I think that's it. So that probably would be about it in terms of that. But yeah. Ford Bronco's coming back, so that's cool.
Yeah, I actually noticed that after the other episode.
On his birthday. It's like a little birthday gift.
Okay.
All right.
This is our podcast, sentence. Retired Murderous Football Players.
Man, that'd be a twist on our formula.
Yeah, and every week we could do a different position, like wide receiver, running back. I'm sure you could find one for at least each.
Yeah.
I'm totally okay with that.
Then we could set up a bingo card and see which one are we going to do this
who's all here today?
I'm Pat. I'm the sunshine tired as hell.
I don't know if that's an object, but I'll take it.
I guess I go. Hopefully, as you know, probably by now, my name is Devontae.
And I'm Joe, the tortellini toddler.
It's adorable. Just adorable.
I can't remember.
Sorry.
Oh, no. I interrupted you. I was just going to say I couldn't remember if I did tortellini before or not. I'm losing track of all of them.
I think you did, but...
You got to keep a list in your phone, man.
There's only so many noodles.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm Tom the Tech Man.
Yeah, you are. Wait, Tech Man? Oh yeah, you changed it to Tech Man recently, didn't you?
He's a man.
Sounds like a Transformer or some 80s cartoon based on a toy. Tom the Tech Man.
That only makes him sound cooler.
I am Starscream.
Tom's a Transformer. That'd be awesome.
Yes.
Honestly, you've just made me more disappointed that Tom's not a Transformer. And really, why have we spent years as friends with him if he's not?
Tom Formers, editors in disguise. You're welcome.
Boy.
I don't know about that.
And I am your humble host on Lake Michigan's coast. Yes, I'm doing this. The skill talker on his way to Gilded Oscar, an excellent podcaster and all-around master, your friendly neighborhood host, Brian.
So do you really think you're on your way to an Oscar?
Maybe.
Why does everything have to be so long?
Oh, no, man. I really don't. I can't help it.
A very insecure person who just... He needs to do something to try to bring himself up in the world, and honestly...
Please look at me.
It's just...
Look at me.
it's I don't have a way to finish that sentence. I'm just so sad for him.
You can draw it out if you want. I'm used to that. All right. So speaking of the really long things that have been going on a while, we're in week 3 of Bracket for Debate. We got 16 seeds. We got 4 each for each episode. We got 2 minutes to do each one, and now only 4 episodes left, and we're going to decide what the greatest movie soundtrack of all time was. So that's cool. Last week's winners were Space Jam and Into the Spider-Verse, along with the week before that was Blues Brothers and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Blech. And now we have today's matchups. Are you guys ready?
Mm-hmm. Hit me with it.
Okay, I got the timer. I'm going to set it for 2 minutes. And the first one is Forrest Gump versus Scott Pilgrim. Go.
Scott Pilgrim. Just Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, I'm going to say Scott Pilgrim just because, I don't know, I think they were a little more creative and had more of a defined sound. Forrest Gump does have a great soundtrack, but a lot of its soundtrack is like time period wise. Like,
oh, yeah. That's 60s
It's
vibe.
very fitting for its soundtrack. It's definitely a harder decision for me to make, and I'm probably being more biased because I like Scott Pilgrim a lot.
Yeah.
But I'm going to lean into Scott Pilgrim for that one.
Yeah, I'm going to go Forrest Gump. I like that a lot. And I really like how Pat said it was a timepiece type thing. I thought it fit the film really well, so I'm going to go with that, even though it is probably less original.
Well, is it... There's a lot of stuff in here that's just like, yeah, that's a movie set in the 60s. You know, you got Fortunate Son, you got the Blowing in the Wind, you got the Doors. But did it set the trend? Like, is Fortunate Son tied to Vietnam because of Forrest Gump?
I would argue it's less original because it doesn't have original songs.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's what yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, granted, some of their songs are lesser known, like indie bands and stuff, but they still got, like, when they do this scene with Black Sheep, they have Brie Larson actually came out and sang that.
They did their own recording.
And her own cover, yeah.
Yeah. That is definitely true. Did you guys know that the song Scott Pilgrim was, like, before the graphic novels? They named the graphic novels after that song?
Really?
That's right.
Makes sense.
But, yeah, I think I gotta go with Scott Pilgrim. Like, you could make a case that Forrest Gump might be better objectively, but you know me. I love that movie too much.
I probably agree.
Yeah.
I'll say Scott Pilgrim as well. Mainly because I don't remember Forrest Gump's soundtrack at all, so I don't think it sat with me very well.
I remember Fortunate Son, and I remember Freebird.
And it has been 2 minutes, so Joey, it looks like you have lost.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Was
that the first time we had a little bit of
disagreement? Yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
This next one
really goes to show how quickly we're going to be kicking out Joey from the podcast.
Just painted a target on his back. All right. And speaking of whacking people, the next one we've got is Goodfellas versus American Graffiti. Go.
What?
Goodfellas and American Graffiti.
I'm going to go with Goodfellas because I've only seen Goodfellas.
True. I've only seen Goodfellas.
I've seen both of those because there was a period of time towards the end of high school where I was like, I definitely want to see like all the classic movies as if American Graffiti is a classic. And I think I'm going to go with Goodfellas because I remember nothing about American Graffiti after watching it. Other than they did that ending where they tell you about what happened to everyone's characters after the movie. And they're all they're all like super depressing, and I was like, "Why'd you do that?"
Like the Animal House kind of thing.
You didn't need to tell me about what happened to them. They're like, "This guy disappeared 2 weeks later," and I was like, "Why? Why, George Lucas?" But yeah, I remember nothing about that movie, including the music. So definitely gonna go with Goodfellas.
I'm gonna make a quick like a devil's advocate here. The soundtrack to this American Graffiti is kind of like a timepiece of like that like 50s like early rock and roll while you go get a malt shake, you know, in your like American muscle car, like Rock Around the Clock and all that stuff. Probably didn't make a great argument.
Are you saying you like that, or?
I mean, it's interesting. It feels like the like epitome of just like 50s rock as a movie kind of soundtrack.
Okay.
And I've never seen Goodfellas, and I've seen American Graffiti, but I watched the Community episode that's based on Goodfellas, so, and that's close, right?
No, it's not.
I would say it's close enough.
I don't. No, he has to watch that movie.
No, I want to for sure.
That's
but...
the one with the chicken tenders, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I love that.
Well, it's been 2 minutes, and we've decided we loved the episode of Community. Where did we stand on votes? Was it all kind of Goodfellas?
Goodfellas, yeah.
Wait, Devontae, what did you say?
I said Goodfellas.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't see the other movie.
Okay.
Joey's safe for now. We're all in agreement. We're gonna. Well, I'm gonna be dissenting just for the theme of it. So I'm gonna be American Graffiti. Just
no, that doesn't count.
Yeah, you're wrong.
I thought you were.
I don't know what I am. It doesn't matter. Goodfellas won. So next week we're gonna have, or the next episode, we're gonna have the last first round matchup. Of the first original pairings. One of those pairings is Wayne's World versus Dazed and Confused. So
nice.
we're gonna talk about, and that was by random. I felt like that's a good lineup, but come for our next episode to listen to that. But for now, welcome to the Pause Button Podcast. Every other week, your 4 favorite hosts, Pat, Joey, Devontae, and me, along with Tom the Tech Man, we'll take a topic, delve into its past, discuss its present, and debate its dazzling future, and we'll do our darndest to entertain you along the way. You can expect surprising facts, funny jokes, deeply depressing monologues, and of course, unrelated witty banter. So whether you're watching a movie or playing a video game, sit down, shut up, and open your ears. It's time to hit pause.
Devontae brings up a good point. Everything is way too long. We got to cut down this.
I'm sure we're gonna have a lot of people who think that their phone broke when you took that long pause. I didn't know what happened to you.
Yeah, I was like, what happened? You forget your script?
I was acting, sir. I'm preparing for my Oscar.
I thought he was taking the deepest of breaths.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Whatever you say, it's time to hit pause at the beginning, I almost instinctually stop recording. Every single time.
It's just in your head okay, we're done.
That's it. It's not. Usually it's Devontae that says it, but I still almost hit it. One day I'll do it, and it's just gonna ruin everything.
Somebody's been they've been listening to us for the first 15 minutes or so, and then they zone out and they hear it's time to hit pause, oh, okay, and then they just go back to listen to music or something. No, wait. So we do have a big topic to talk about today, and that is video game sequels. We're going to be talking about the best, the worst, and what makes them that, and even some current ones that have just recently come out. So let's get started with our favorites, the ones that have been good, the successful sequels that have carried on a franchise past the first installment. You don't have to rank them, but what have been some favorites of yours in the past?
My original favorite video game sequel that I had played was Kingdom Hearts 2.
That was the first one that popped up for me too.
I remember I enjoyed it so much that I brought it over to your house to play it so that I could show you the series.
Yeah.
And it didn't have a massive gap between Kingdom Hearts 2 and Kingdom Hearts 1. I think it was.
I didn't think about release dates. Yeah. For them. That's pretty big.
Yeah. And it expanded the story well, made the action more dynamic, but was still simple to play, still had great music, fun voice acting and characters, and it was still great to see the cameos from Final Fantasy characters. That was the original one for me.
Yeah, a good choice of characters to bring back and worlds to bring back, and then new ones and ones to just kind of forget. We didn't need to go see the Pinocchio world again. Not going back to Monstro or whatever. That's fine.
No, yeah. This time we got to go to the Lion King world in Pride Rock and be a lion.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the drive mode they put in. That was a good addition.
Yeah. Being able to wield 2 Keyblades at once was really cool after seeing it in the secret cutscene for Kingdom Hearts 1.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Devontae, how about you?
Well, I mean, my favorite video game of all time is the sequel, and that's Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
What made it better than Sonic the Hedgehog 1?
Sonic the Hedgehog 1, it was, a faster platformer than Mario, but in the second one, they just really defined Sonic's speed. That's when they first incorporated the spin dash you can do by, holding down and pressing A. You could not do that in the first game.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
That's all that game is to me. I've hardly played it, but that's just the image of Sonic.
Yeah, so you can only in the first game, if you wanted to do a spin dash, you would have to, press down when you're going down a hill and hope that you have enough speed to, actually keep going forward. But no, they incorporated Spin Dash in the second one, and they added Tails to the game.
Yeah.
Sonic's main sidekick, so that was really cool. And I love the soundtrack. It's the hardest 2D Sonic game, which I can really care less about difficulty, but then I like difficulty a little bit more. But it's the hardest 2D Sonic game, and the final boss is really cool. And the special stage is way better than the first one. The first special stage is complete garbage. But at least in the second one, you had the little thing when you're in Tails or moving left to right, collecting the little orbs. Compared to the first one, when you're in like a diamond maze, that you have to stand on crystals to make them disappear, and it's really frustrating.
Yeah. I still have to play some of those Sonic games, which by that I mean all of them other than Sonic Heroes.
But it's a good game. It's
okay.
I know I just shit on it because the fan base does. Like I enjoyed
it's
it.
Okay.
I would say it's a good game, but not a great Sonic game.
Yeah, I would say that.
That's fair.
Going with Pat and Devontae, I think like half of the ones that I thought of were all like the second one: Kingdom Hearts 2, Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, Mario Party 2, Guitar Hero 2, Portal 2, Arkham Asylum. Like they're all the second entries. They kind of just like took the first one and they add just enough of something cool to it, but like still make it feel like you're playing that like the first one,
Yeah.
Like just improves upon it. Like the costumes in Paper Mario 2, or not Paper Mario 2, Mario Party 2. Where you start wearing hats and like outfits when you go to the different place. Like that's just a small little touch like that. It's like, this is cool.
Yeah,
I like
Mario
this.
Party 2, where Toad is dressed up as a boat, and it is hilarious.
Oh, he is a little boat. Yeah.
Do you remember when we played Mario Party 2 at a friend's house and you were about to buy a star and I leaned over to pretend to stop you? And then you reacted and hit A, and I was like, oh, shit. And you rejected getting the star. And I think that almost ended our friendship.
No, Pat, I forgot about the time you stabbed me in the back. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
He minorly distracted you. What do you mean?
Well, not so much minorly as I jokingly hit the controller to make him select it, but then he actually hit A, and I was like, oh!
Oh.
I
was so mad. I'm still mad.
We should play Mario Party soon.
Yeah. That's always a classic.
Yeah.
Tom, what about you? What have been some of your favorites?
Some of my favorites? I'm just going to give you probably the definitive one. God of War 2.
Wait, what do you mean definitive?
Like, it's probably my favorite, sequel game.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I thought you were going to make an argument that was the best sequel ever.
No. This stands for me, Brian.
Okay.
Yeah, God of War 2. It just, it throws you right back into being a fucking badass.
That's definitely what those games are, yeah.
You start off as the God of War, just murdering a town called Rhodes, as a giant colossus is in the background trying to kill you. It's great. It's so good.
So, but isn't the first game you being a badass? What was it, more badassness than the second one?
Well, no, it's more badass than the first one. Because in the first one, you're kind of this little bitch working your way up to fighting the God of War. Whereas in the second one, you are the God of War, and people just crumble beneath your feet. You get the respect that you finally deserve from the first.
The respect.
It's a payoff of the climb, yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. So God of War is an interesting one to lead into the next thing I wanted to talk about, because God of War, they did 1, 2, 3, and then I think Ascension was that one game that was in there, and then they recently came out with just the new God of War in 2018. That was kind of like a reimagining of it, and they threw in the Nordic gods, and it was just people love that game and say it's one of the best of the generation. So there's always that the first ones that kind of just take the original and make it better. But then there's also the ones that come back and they're like, well, you didn't know you wanted this, but we remade this, reshaped its vision, and it's something amazing, like Breath of the Wild or the Saints Row the Third,
or just half of Nintendo games.
Yeah, that's Nintendo. The Nintendo games that make good changes as opposed to just random changes like those crappy new Mario parties. They flip a coin of is this change gonna be good or not? And I feel even Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare, that changed things pretty drastically and pretty much shaped first-person shooters for the past, 13 years ongoing?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, Halo set the standard for how it should control, and then Call of Duty was like, yeah, but it should be faster.
Yeah,
Should
yeah,
be way
that's a really good way to sum it up. Yeah, I feel like Uncharted 4 kind of did that a little bit, where like it was kind of the original, but like it came after the trilogy and put like a nice end on it and brought a lot more heart to it than any of the other games had.
Yeah, I think the brother aspect definitely helped with that regard, bring heart to it. Because in the other games, you're just kind of Nathan Drake, a piece of shit. Whereas he's actually doing this.
You're continually breaking Elena's heart on and off.
Yeah, we got to start every game with them not being together, and in 4 you get to see them almost break up.
Yep.
But then things just kind of work out for Nathan Drake. He doesn't actually fix his problems. He just apologizes again by the end of the game, and
he's a lovable scamp.
I guess it works out.
I guess, yeah.
Luckily for him, Elena is like, all right, I know the drill, and just decides to side with him this time.
This man keeps finding treasures. I need to stay with him. I'm going to be rich one day. Possibly dead, but rich one day.
Well, at least this one wasn't haunted. In 4, it's the first one that isn't mystical.
True.
I didn't even think of that. Yeah, I made it through, and there's no, like... Dude, when those things showed up in the first ones, I was like, oh.
Yeah, I didn't realize that when I first played Uncharted that it was essentially just male Tomb Raider.
One more thing in terms of good sequels, I feel like we could make a whole podcast about the Assassin's Creed franchise and those complete missteps or like perfect ways to be like, wait, no, it's okay, we made this one. Like,
there's too many.
They're just on and off.
There's too many. I'd rather not.
Yeah. So speaking of the failures, what have been the worst sequels that have just come out and you've been like, what? How did you drop this ball? Like, the first one was so good, and then the second or third or whatever one came out, and you're like, no.
It's not a bad game, but since I brought up Kingdom Hearts 2, I want to bring up Kingdom Hearts 3, which, like I said, not a bad game, but considering the intense wait for it, with Kingdom Hearts 2, I think, coming out when I was in 6th grade, and
right, yep.
Me being a 26-year-old man when I got Kingdom Hearts 3 in my hands. The game doesn't feel nearly big enough. It felt somehow shorter than Kingdom Hearts 2 to me. It kind of quickly wraps up all of its way too many convoluted plot lines, so all the side games, and ultimately ends on a cliffhanger. Not a cliffhanger completely, but like yet another plot line unresolved, and you're just like, why couldn't you end things with Kingdom Hearts 3? And then, like, you could set up, if you want to keep doing Kingdom Hearts games, you can set up a new storyline after that. But I didn't want to touch that series anymore after Kingdom Hearts 3, and now I'm gonna, have to keep an eye on things. Or not. I don't know if I will.
Pat, does that mean that you're gonna buy the new Rhythm game that's coming out?
I don't know. Isn't it about Kyrie? I might do it just because the music in Kingdom Hearts is pretty good.
It is. If they get those, like, opening songs in there, it's like, maybe I should play it. Then.
Maybe. I'll see.
That's a fair one to bring up, though.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I felt really let down, if we're going to continue with, like, the conclusions of just, like, I waited so long for... Arkham Knight, man. What the hell happened?
I mean, that's still also a good game. They just went way too hard on the Batmobile mechanic.
It's like...
the parts that aren't Batmobile are still fun.
They are, but like I think I'd give that game like a 7.5 or something near that. Just like a solid like high C, maybe a low B, but like it's just... The
problem is that the boss fights are all in the Batmobile.
Yeah.
Because the parts when you get to like you can choose to play the game without using the Batmobile much, but every once in a while to get into a new area, you have to be in the Batmobile, and then every once in a while you'll have a major boss fight time, and they're like, Batmobile combat time to tether Firefly with this, or you get to a Deathstroke boss fight as a sequel to the one in Arkham Origins, and you're like, oh sweet, that was the best boss fight of that game, I can't wait to go hand to hand against Deathstroke with his like 2 katana and his guns, and then he's in the tank, and you shoot his tank, and then you like tackle him in the end. And you're like, cool. Really glad we did that.
how can you be that tone deaf? Anybody talks about Arkham Origins, they're like, man, that Deathstroke fight, like, what is that? It's like really hard, but like it makes sense that it's hard and it's enjoyable. And then I don't want to say it's just the Batmobile. There's also the whole thing of like Jason Todd, and like if that's existed for 30 years, 20 years, I don't know how long it's been since that came out in comics, but it's been a long time. Could you not set that up in like the second game at least?
Super obvious twist that it was coming.
Yeah.
When they're like, all right, now about halfway through the game, let's have him have flashbacks about the time Joker seemingly killed Jason Todd.
Like, they didn't even put his old, like, ripped-up uniform in the Batcave in the first 2 games.
Yeah.
Why not?
So
that makes no sense.
Now you're suddenly like, all right, here we go. I wonder who the Arkham Knight is. Oh, wow, his red helmet. That's really similar to Red Hood.
And there's literally no one else it could be. Like, oh, Gordon. Commissioner Gordon, what? Like,
yeah.
Would have been a better twist if it was Commissioner Gordon.
Also, at the end of that game, I'm going to go ahead and just spoil that game because it's been out for a long time.
5 years,
you get Bruce Wayne's identity as Batman gets revealed to the world by Scarecrow. And then once the game's completed, you get to finish up all the side missions, and Batman's talking to like all of his allies and like saying his goodbyes to them, and then he fakes his own death only so that he can just focus on only being Batman. But that means that the whole world's still aware he's alive as Batman.
I never thought of that.
Like, they do this big moment where it's like Batman's still doing things, but it's like it's only a matter of time before people realize Batman's still active. They're gonna know that's Bruce Wayne, and then Catwoman and like Nightwing gonna be like, "What the hell, man?"
Yeah, it's really weird. I'm more mad now.
The ending does not work to that series.
Devontae, what was the worst sequel to come out for you?
Resident Evil 6.
Oh,
It was absolutely the worst Resident Evil game I've ever played. No, that's a lie. Operation Raccoon City was, but that's a spinoff.
Yeah.
That one doesn't count. But like as a mainstream Resident Evil game, that is the worst Resident Evil game I've ever played.
You don't like punching rocks as Wesker's son?
Yeah, it's like, what is this? It turned into Call of Duty Resident Evil. Like, the only story that was similar to like the original story was Leon's. But if you play Chris or like Wesker's son, you're like, what is this? Like, I'm just shooting zombies that have rocket launchers and like AKs shooting back at me, and they're hiding behind cover. Like, at least in Resident Evil 5, when they picked up a gun, if you shot off their head, they still came at you like with their, the umbrella virus inside of them, like the, whatever they transform into. But this one, it was like, oh, they're just normal humans that look dead.
Yeah, like I gotta respect the uniqueness of it to be like, you know what, zombies can use guns and understand like modern warfare. Like they know how to hide behind cover, like gears. Like, I mean, it's unique. You gotta give it that.
I'm still really sad. That was my first Resident Evil game.
Oh no!
Oh no!
See, I played Resident Evil 4, and it was because of that game that I decided to, like, when I got an Xbox One, to get another Resident Evil, and the one that I got was Resident Evil 6. I have it sitting here. And I still haven't played it, but now this makes me not want to play it.
You can play Leon's story. They kept. See, that's why I didn't give it that game. They had 4 different stories you can play. And Leon is, or I guess the first 3 you can play is Leon, Chris, and I forget Wesker's son's name. I think Jack or something.
I think it is Jack.
But Leon was actually like similar to his Resident Evil story, like when there was actual zombies. If they did pick up a gun, they moved slowly and like kind of like aimlessly shot, like kind of like it's like it's in their hand, like the it's like they just kind of pull the trigger, and if you get hit, it's just random. But then you go to Chris when it's like, for some reason the zombies, like Brian said, they figured out modern warfare, and like they have all these tactics of like throwing flashbangs and stuff. You're like, what is going on? Like, you're a zombie. How can you do this? Like, I know like the G virus, you can still be kind of human, but based off how it was in the first irradiations of the game, and like if you inject yourself with that, you basically lose control, and now all of a sudden these people can control it, and like it's like, oh, I'm just a superpowered human now. It's like, all right, this is stupid.
At least the series seems to be going back to its roots slowly but surely.
Yeah. Yeah, like Resident Evil 7 and was great.
Yeah.
8's gonna have werewolves, man.
Yeah, werewolves finally.
I like
Village.
how they made 7 for that series, and then just went and redid like the first 3 games.
Because they were so good.
They are good, but it's just funny to me that they're like, we're gonna take it in this new first-person direction. Wait, no, go back.
Pokemon kind of did that, right?
Did they?
Not at the same time, but like they made like Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu, and they also did like Red Leaf.
I like to think that those games were a test, just to see if that franchise could change the catching mechanics, and I think it failed horribly. But that's just...
So there's another failed sequel or remake or whatever it is. Also, shout out to Lego Batman 2 for just completely just changing the Lego games forever, and not in a good way.
I always appreciated how simple the Lego games were, so yeah, I'm going to agree with you. I think we might be in the minority on that, though, Brian.
I know, but like they didn't need to talk. It was more fun when they just looked at each other
they started
and
talking?
shook their hand.
Yeah, they have voice acting now.
Oh, why did they do
gross.
that? Yeah, it was funny when they didn't talk.
Yeah, when they would like act things out.
Yeah.
And like just do like mimicry, and you'd be like, "Oh, I get it. Yeah, that's funny."
Pat, did you notice me do the same hand motion as you, where we made the Lego hands?
Yeah, we both made C's with our
up
hands.
and down. I did that a lot.
It was great.
So, recently, a big sequel came out, and there's been some talk about how it has not completely failed the franchise, unless you're crying about it online. It's The Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah.
And for the most part, the internet has agreed that this is an astounding game.
Reviewers have agreed it's an astounding game, and really butthurt people have.
Yeah, it's like its Metacritic is terrible.
Well, yeah, the really butthurt people are just storming Metacritic. The player reviews got day one, like before the day was even over, it was brought down to like a 30%. So no one could have possibly played through the whole game.
It has since risen to 4.7, but that's still like a garbage.
It was
technically a garbage game.
Super low. But the review, the actual reviewers had it at like a 95.
Yeah, I think 94 now, so it went down like that little bit, but it's above 90, so it's easily like one of the best games of the generation.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's getting hit with the Last Jedi and Captain Marvel's syndrome, where like really butthurt people start just review bombing it.
Yeah,
but I think it's I've played a good amount of it so far. I think it's a great game so far. Player wise, there's some plot moments in it that I think are the driving point behind a lot of people being butthurt. That the fact that Ellie's a lesbian, and there is a transgender character later on that gets some focus.
I was about to ask if you were ahead of me or not, and I have not met them yet, so you are definitely ahead of me.
Yeah. So people got like I think really unhappy about those. Like, why would anyone care about that kind of thing in an apocalypse? And I'm like, wow, it's like people can't help how they feel, so like with their body or the romantic interests.
Even in the apocalypse, people are people.
Like literally the things that make them them.
So there's that. And then, of course, there is at least one or two major plot points that are meant to be divisive, but unfortunately, I think some people that didn't enjoy them really took it personally. And I won't go into detail because I don't want to spoil people, of course.
Yeah, we're not going to spoil it here.
The internet's already done that.
Yeah, well.
They don't give a fuck about spoiling that game.
In any case, though, I really enjoy the hell out of it. It's a very intense game, has very similar combat to the first one. I think it goes a little bit darker at times, allowing for the combat makes things a lot more gruesome. I set a trap mine the other day in front of a restaurant because I noticed that the guys were sort of circling around, and I watched it blow up, and then I got into a gunfight and killed a few more people, and then I checked out the guy I blew up, and his body had been ripped in half, and his intestines were laying out. His face was partially blown off, and one of his eyes was still hanging open. And I was like,
Jesus.
well, that's more realistic than I ever wanted video games to be. Well, but it makes you really think about the horrors and the violence that you are participating in. It is a really brutal game, and it understands its brutality. Like it does not glorify it in any way. Characters beg for their lives. Characters, when you kill someone, people scream for their friends.
Yeah, they named every like NPC.
Yeah,
They kill
including the
somebody and they're like,
dogs.
Jeff, like it's so good.
I had a dog named Bear, and I killed a dog the other day, and a guy screamed Bear.
Oh
And I was like,
God.
thanks.
Oh.
Thanks, Neil Druckmann. Thanks.
Yeah,
That's
exactly. But overall, really enjoying it. Also, I think it goes a little bit scarier at times too, which is
yeah.
fun.
Yeah, fun. Yeah.
I like. I'm not big on horror movies, but I enjoy horror games.
Yeah, I'm not big on horror games, but like for some reason I just feel drawn to this. The story's just too good, and I think going back to that conversation of like reinventing something versus just like giving you more of what you wanted from the original with like a few changes. I feel like this is closer to the second one there, where it's it's similar to the first game, but like the mechanics that they add in, you know, with like the bombs and having a permanent shiv and making clickers feel like a little bit easier and all that. It's all like welcome mechanics. But then also like the story is going a lot of places you didn't expect, and the directing and like the acting of it. I've never played a game and felt so much that it was just art. Like it's an artistic, like enjoyable. I mean, it's near a movie. There's a lot of cutscenes, but it's not like, you know, like a Kojima game level of just like I spend 2 hours watching a cutscene. You know?
Yeah, they move things along, and the story has taken itself into really unexpected places for me pretty consistently, which I enjoy.
Pat, how do you play it?
What?
What's like your play style? Do you want to be
What
like
do you
sneaky?
mean?
Or do you like
4?
like run in there throwing bottles at people and like shooting them
I mean,
up?
I
Like,
tried to sneak around and inevitably fail.
Yeah.
At some point, what happens inevitably is that I see what appears to be an easy kill, and I go, sweet, gonna kill that person. And then either their body immediately gets found, and then they all start, because the NPCs are designed to be a little more human in like the way that they aren't like too repetitive of patterns, and like they'll suddenly randomly turn and look a direction, and you'll be like, you were supposed to be looking the other way. But like they'll all turn and notice me shivving a guy in the neck, and I'm like, ooh, you weren't supposed to look. Or like they'll have noticed the body that I'll have killed someone in a single hit. Like I'll have shot them in the head with an arrow, uh, and I'll be like, awesome, that was silent, no one noticed, and then they immediately notice the body, and everyone's running everywhere, and I get found pretty quickly. Also, I'll forget that dogs can follow my scent trail, and I'll have not paid attention to my scent trail, so I'll be sitting there for a while, and then suddenly I hear barking, and I'm like, oh, that doesn't sound good. Oh, God, as the dog starts mauling me.
Yeah.
And then once the gunfight gets too hard, I'll just start trying to run around and can find my way. I'll be like, let me go, please.
I was curious because I'm kind of the same way where I try to sneak, and it works sometimes, and I like hoard up supplies, and I'll be like maxed out on ammo. So when I get to like a harder point where dogs show up, there's a lot of people, I'm just like, this isn't gonna work. And I just run out there and, you know, shoot people and hide behind cars and just, you know, just kind of shoot everything that moves, and while I'm screaming and crying and shooting dogs. And
I also try to explore a lot in the areas where there aren't a lot of action. Do a lot of like going through every building and every floor of the building, and finding the code to each safe, and checking every filing cabinet where I find more and more files. And I'm like, don't know what I expected in this filing cabinet. But really enjoy pretty much every aspect of the game so far. I'm really liking it. I think I'm a little more into it than I was The Last of Us 1, which surprised me.
I would recommend people play it. I think I enjoy it more than the first one, but I do think you should play the first one. I don't think you can jump in the second one here.
Definitely not.
I'm waiting for that sweet router PS5, and then I'm gonna buy it on that. It's gonna look spectacular.
Oh, dude, it already looks amazing on PS4. I can't imagine this game on 5. Speaking of PS5, I think we're ready to go to the next segment here, which is Phast with a PH news. So I've prepared a little bit of a little thing here, and before we get into it, I just want to say, like, this is a bi-weekly podcast. It's not like we, put out the videos as quick as we can after news is released and all that. So rather than trying to pick things that just happened, I'm picking things over the last I would say week or two, and it's something you might have missed or a little bit of tidbit that didn't get mentioned. So I'm trying to make it more interesting stuff like that. No one cares.
I thought you were talking to the audience. You're talking to
Yeah,
us.
I'm not going to respond.
Okay, cool. We're just waiting for you to do your segment.
Okay. Is 4 minutes okay?
No.
No.
Okay.
Do 2.5.
2.5?
2.5.
Okay. All right.
Should I time you?
I'm gonna time myself. I'm not gonna cheat, but I do want to. Well, I mean, we can hit go at the same time, but I want to watch the clock go. It makes it easier. I timed it at 4, so I'm gonna have to cut some stuff on the go, but we'll make this work. And 1, 2, 3, go. All right, so first up we got movies. AMC theaters are planning to open in July for the release of Mulan and Tenet, which was recently pushed back to August 12th. August will also see the release of the SpongeBob movie, Bill and Ted Face the Music, and New Mutants. As of right now, we want to see how that goes. Another film coming back to theaters in August is Scott Pilgrim vs. the World to celebrate its 10th anniversary. Not only that, but most of the cast got together with director Edgar Wright and graphic novel writer Brian Lee O'Malley for virtual script reading, and it benefited charity, and will be released on Entertainment Weekly later in the summer. Margot Robbie's going to be doing a Pirates movie, and Michael Keaton might be coming back to play Bruce Wayne. No one's really sure yet. There's rumors that he might be the DCEU Nick Fury, but, rumors and all that fun stuff for now. Next, we got video games. Mixer is going away on July 22nd and moving over to Facebook Gaming. Gary Whitta, the guy who wrote Rogue One, is doing Animal Talking. It's the first video game talk show. Sting was on there. AOC is going to be on there. There's a link below in the description if you want to look at that. Animal Crossing also put out an update where you can dive underwater and share sea life with adorable otters. There's been a lot of reveals the past week or so. PS5, if you haven't seen that thing, go watch it. It's an hour long, and it had the dopest transition animations ever. There was also, it talked about Spider-Man Miles Morales in there, and 9 months ago there was a Reddit post with a good amount of the information that they had in the video, along with some information that's yet to be confirmed or denied. That guy's Reddit account was throwaway546632, and if you really like spoilers and leaks and all that stuff, you can go look that up. Also, bug snacks. That's all I got to say about that. Okay, EA Play happened. Star Wars Squadrons looks kind of cool. Apex Legends is coming to Switch, and Skate 4 or Remake or whatever, Skate's back. Avengers game kind of looks okay. There's powers and skill trees, and the story look pretty cool with Kamala Khan and all that, but I'm getting a lot of Destiny comparisons, and given how the Division 2 supposedly didn't meet Ubisoft's sales goals, and Anthem is... Well, Anthem, it's a tough market, so do whatever you can to make that good. CD Projekt Red showed at Cyberpunk 2077. They're going to have these Night City Wire events, which is confirmed to be one of many. It looks fantastic, and it's been delayed to November 19th, but it's a lot closer than 2022, when we're going to get the Netflix anime titled Cyberpunk Edge Runners. And finally, we got, supposedly we're going to get some Batman news at DC Fandom at August 22nd event. It's a 24-hour immersive virtual fan experience that features movies, shows, comics, and yes, games. Supposedly there might, according to Eurogamer, a company connected to Warner Brothers recently got website domains for 2 games. One of them was Suicide Squad, which is rumored to be coming from Rocksteady, who did the mainline Arkham games. And that's supposed to be similar to Crystal Dynamics Avengers, single player with an online games as a service thing. And then Gotham Knights, which is supposed to be tied to WB Montreal, who did Arkham Origins, and that's going to be supposedly Bat Family versus Court of the Owls. But we're going to see when we get to August 22nd. And finally, the 2020 Marble League is here. Momo Strong. And done.
Cool.
That happened.
I'm surprised you brought up Animal Talking and you didn't bring up T-Pain was on it, and he got a crown, and it's super funny, his reaction to getting that crown.
That's awesome.
Yes, that was an amazing... I think it's a $1 million bell crown.
Yeah, he screams when he gets it. It's pretty funny.
Elijah Wood was on there. It's an amazing show.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool how Animal Crossing became like a phenomenon. I mean, it was already going to be a super popular game, but like really, the pandemic helped it out big time.
Absolutely. It's still going strong, man. I want to dive underwater and get sea starfish and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to be one of the animals. I don't want to be the person.
That's fair. That's a fair point. And anything else that you want to talk about? Or do you want to go to the next section?
Tom.
I was
Tom's
sad
a furry.
that Tenet got pushed back, but also
Yeah.
Why did they push it back
What?
2
No,
weeks?
let's not go back to that.
They
Tenet.
moved it 2
How do you feel
weeks.
about
Like
Coco
first
this
time.
2 weeks do.
I'm gonna stay on being a furry.
Are we talking
know.
about Tenet or Tom as a furry? I am confused.
Look, I'm not gonna repeat what I said, but
yeah.
that movie. No.
Let's move on.
Oh.
We're moving on to the future segment
before I
of the
said
podcast. So there's some upcoming sequels coming out. What are you guys looking forward to coming out in the future?
Looking forward to that new Paper Mario, seeing if they can pull
Absolutely.
it off. That's definitely the big one for me as of right now. I'm looking forward to seeing the future plans for the God of War franchise. I want to see what they'll do with, even though I didn't end up being big on Horizon Zero Dawn, they recently announced the sequel, and I think they're in San Francisco or something. You can see the Golden Gate Bridge and stuff.
Ooh.
They went west.
So
They went
Forbidden
west.
West.
that'll be cool to see how that series develops. It was already a super pretty game, so I'm looking forward
Yeah.
to seeing how pretty that sequel ends up being.
Another super pretty game, Breath of the Wild 2 or whatever that game is
Yeah,
going to be
Breath of the Wild
called.
2,
That
definitely.
that might be the number one I'm looking forward to right now.
I also want to continue seeing where the Halo franchise goes with its current antagonist.
Is Locke the antagonist? I lost. I didn't play
No,
5.
it's Cortana.
Really? I gotta play 5.
Yeah.
Huh.
You might want to just watch 5.
You see, 5's a good game when you're playing as Master Chief.
Yeah, but that's half the game.
Why they felt that a game where Cortana was like being set up as the antagonist needed Locke is beyond me. But yeah,
Because they wanted to humanize the chief, and I still remember commentary for the first 3 games where they're just like, he's a killing machine, and then like 4 and 5, they're like, no, he's got a soul. I'm like, no,
I mean,
that's not him.
I think he's more interesting with the soul,
Nah.
and he definitely did in the first 3. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, commentary for the first one, they're like, we want to make this just a blank slate for the character,
Well,
so he's
They're
just a
definitely
killer.
wrong, because if you watch the game itself, he has a personality.
He does have a personality, but like he barely talks, to be honest.
Hey, shout out to
He
Steve
does,
Downs.
but
man.
whatever he does, it's like a somber moment.
Sounds
I
like we
need
need
a
a.
weapon.
I think we need a Halo episode. This is a good debate.
Ending this.
Maybe.
I guess
Devontae.
they're somber. I don't know.
I want to know your opinion.
What?
Is Watch Dogs Legion going to be good?
No.
No, don't say that.
No, it's not.
What if they let you
What
shoot while
even
you
gave
drive?
you hope?
What if you get in the car and you can shoot?
No,
What if
because
you
it'll
do
just
that?
still make it stupid. And it's like, there are going to be those 2 vehicles that you have to hack to get rid of it. You're like, I can't hack and drive at the same time because your controls are ass.
I wouldn't say my hopes are up, but like my interest is peaked. I'm like,
They
maybe.
tried the meme. They put the grandma thing in it. And like,
That's Ubisoft, man. They try.
I ain't about it. They're trying to reel you in by making it a meme.
I'm also super confused about Overwatch 2. The lead designer recently said that they're trying to eventually merge the 1 and 2 into be one product, and I don't know what that means.
It's like,
I mean, they'll probably just include all the characters in previous maps.
So like,
yeah.
what do I buy 2 for? Like, it does
If
look
you
better?
don't own 1, yeah, it looks better.
Yeah.
Everything is probably
New
in it
maps.
already. Like when they link it with 1, you probably have to buy whatever extra to play with people that have 2.
It'll probably also have like a story mode or
Yeah.
something.
There is supposed to be a story mode, that's true. But all heroes, maps, and game modes are going to be in both 1 and 2.
Right, it's just like, because overall it's a multiplayer game. So it's like what they did with Dota and Dota 2. They improve. The mechanics probably run better on 2 than it will on 1.
Oh, okay. Oh, that makes sense.
I wonder what Roadhog's story is gonna be.
Dude, let's go. He starts the apocalypse.
Probably.
And then
I'm looking forward to seeing Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Oh, that's a good one.
Especially after I really enjoyed Odyssey, so I want to see more of that style of gameplay.
Yeah, that's true. So I got like one like. Oh wait, what game deserves a sequel?
Golden Sun, because they left it on a cliffhanger, and I'm pissed.
I've never heard of Golden Sun.
Probably, I'm gonna say Crash Bandicoot could use a fourth game.
Oh well, it's about time.
They just announced it. Maybe Banjo-Kazooie after all these years.
Yeah, they
use
did
a
them
good
wrong
sequel.
with nuts and bolts, so it'd be cool to go.
Altered Beast.
That'd be cool
Alright.
to bring back.
That would be actually probably fun.
It's
if they
been
brought
30
back that
years.
game.
Are you ready?
It's a.
Hey, I mean,
where you're
Streets of
playing
Rage
actors.
got a sequel, and that Streets of Rage 3 came out in '92, so
Dude,
And
Shenmue
fucking
3 happened.
Battletoads did too.
yeah, it's never too late.
And Battletoads fucking was hard as shit inside.
Yeah. I can't wait for the next EA NFL game.
Oh wow.
yeah.
Cool.
You know, get those new updated uniforms and like maybe a slight graphic improvement. Am I right, guys?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Roster changes.
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
$60.
You know what really needs it is Spyro. Like, apparently his trilogy remake didn't sell as well as the Crash one, but
Maybe
I need a new
because
Spider-Man
Spyro's not
game.
that great.
don't. We're gonna next episode's a debate one.
I
Crash
have
for
to
Spyro. Let's
I'm
go.
gonna disagree with you. I will say that those games are hard to play if you don't necessarily know what the fuck you're supposed to be
All
doing.
right. I mean, I did it when I was like 8. I feel like I could do
So.
it. All right. So, like, big question here. What makes a good sequel?
Expanding on the story and gameplay in interesting ways without spitting on what you had previously and learning from the issues that your previous games had.
Look at Dishonored 1, and then look at Dishonored 2, and then that's the basis for what makes a great sequel, because it just expands upon it.
New setting, new character,
Yeah.
updated mechanics, story that
Exactly.
continues the original one.
It doesn't... It literally takes the first one and just builds on it. Doesn't take away anything from the first one, really, aside from, I would say, the plague aspect.
Now,
I think.
so I feel like there's like kind of like two types of good sequels that we've been talking about. You know, the like take the good stuff in the first game, add in some fun stuff, and then there's the the rebranding, the Breath of the Wilds of it. Which one do you think you would like enjoy more?
Wait, I'm a little confused by the question.
So, do you enjoy more when the franchise just continues like the original vision of it and just improves upon it, like a Kingdom Hearts 2, or is it like do you enjoy more of the like, hey, we took what you loved and just completely flipped it on its head, and now we have Saints Row the Third, and you're like flying around the city?
I mean, both can work.
It's I'd say I've gotten more joy out of flipping it on its head, because when I played Breath of the Wild, I didn't know that was going to be open world. So when I go out onto that hill and they're just like, go, I'm like, what? Well,
That's true.
and then whatchamacallit? It's something I would wish Game Freak would do.
With Pokemon, yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
Been doing the same thing since the 90s.
I'm okay with them flipping it on its head. That's a very good point. All
You
right.
should make it like Smash. Make all the Pokemon fight like characters in Smash.
No,
I
man.
don't know about that necessarily, but like
That would not
They made
go
a
well.
make changes to the world and make the graphics more interesting and dynamic, and the story a little harder.
And they tried that with Pokken Tournament.
Yeah,
Or just make a MOBA game like they're announcing.
we got that MOBA, League of Legends, Pokemon.
That's what you
boys.
wanted, right?
Yeah, it looks fun. I
made-
like Pokemon.
Oh, it does
Pokemon
it?
Snap too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you got Pokemon
Yeah,
Snap too.
yeah.
I remember telling Joey about that at work. He's like, "Fuck yeah!"
I love Pokemon Snap. I'm ready for that.
But now he definitely needs to buy a Switch.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
worthwhile system to own.
Is that the last comment we gotta make? Joey needs to buy a Switch.
God damn
It
it!
is.
If he can find one, they're still tough to find right now. You know Nintendo,
That's
man.
true.
All right, so let us know what you thought of this episode. Whether you enjoyed it or you got some changes you want us to make. Let us know. We're in, keep an open ear and all that. We're on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and all that, so make sure to follow us and like us and all that good stuff. We are coming soon with streaming. Keep your ears open for that. We'll make some posts. And remember, if one of our episodes gets 40 listens, we'll get drunk and record it for you. We're really close. We're getting there. And if we get 20 subscriptions on YouTube, you get to see our beautiful faces as we talk. But share it with somebody if you enjoyed it. And thank you so much for listening. We really do appreciate it. Tom, what are we going to talk about next episode?
Next episode, we're going to talk about how I'm not a furry. Please, God, internet, don't think I'm a furry. It was a joke. Zootopia was a great film, but not for the reasons that a furry would like it for.
What's wrong with being a furry?
Well, I've painted myself into a corner, so just gonna leave it there. I'm not gonna talk. Someone else.
That'll be a fun topic. All right, but until then,
now it's time to hit pause.